Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. What do you do? By the way, it's the Kevin Jackson Show. 844-551-8255. What do you do when Ms. Freaking America is going to bad talk the president? Effectively bad talk the country. Oh my goodness. I saw this story. So I should have talked about this the other day. And I got to tell you, honest to goodness, sometimes I think my mind may be going because it does slip my mind sometimes. I wanted to talk about this. It was big news, but we talked about Bannon. We talked about the NFL, a bunch of other stuff. But Miss America, I find these pageants and things like this to be such a joke. Now, I know there are lots of ladies out there who love the idea of this, the glamour. And as a kid, I look forward to these pageants from time to time. As I got older, I thought, what a joke. Who determines that this girl represents America and then goes on to Miss Universe to represent the universe or the world, or, because it's obviously just a world thing because we don't have Martians and aliens coming in to participate in Miss Universe. But so as I got older, I thought, this is kind of a joke. But there's an industry around this. And so we get this girl, a young girl, in her 20s, early 20s, and she is the person who's going to represent us. Let me tell you something. If I found somebody who was going to represent us as an American woman, she'd certainly be over 30. And she'd be hot. And she'd be probably a Midwestern woman raising a family. The Mrs. Universe or Mrs. America pageant, that represents America to me. Not some young girl, at the beginning of life where they stick a microphone in their face and go, "What do you think about North Korea?" Seriously. And I'm not trying to degrade the opinions of the millennials, but no offense, these kids aren't smart enough to think their way out of a paper bag. And I was in a meeting with millennials a couple days ago, and I said to them, when I said, "What's up, millennials?" And they go, "Oh," and I go, no, I'd put you guys in a separate category because these are right-leaning millennials. These are the kids I'm happy to turn over America to. But the Miss America and people like that, these pageant girls, look, I get it. We want to see beauty at a young age and all that. But honestly, these girls are so fake. They got fake lashes, fake boobs, fake this. And, oh, no. Remember the controversy? What was it one year? You guys are too young. Don't even try to think about it. But there was controversy where one girl didn't have her real boobs or something. I'm thinking, really? Maybe there was a time when Miss America had to be natural, couldn't have liposuction and all that. Wouldn't that be interesting to have a Miss America pageant where they say you have to be 100% natural versus the made up one? So it's like the bodybuilders. They have the natural bodybuilders and they have those that they know are just ripped with steroids. So you'd have two visions of America. And quite frankly, it would almost be like looking at conservatism versus leftism. Leftism has to give itself an advantage. You got to get the new butt. You got to get lipo. You got to get the breast augmented. You got to get the, tummy tuck and blah, blah, blah. And then you got the good old fashioned girl that says, this is it. And by the way, I'll take the good old fashioned girl. Now, that's not to say that for you ladies that go out there, you're dyeing your hair, you're making yourself look good for your guy. Love it. We love it. We guys, we love it. But we also love it when you can be comfortable in your natural, So, be good with that. Anyway, that's not the whole reason for this discussion. The discussion was more around Miss North Dakota, crowned Miss America, because she answered the question about climate change. And they called it a complex question that she answered in 20 seconds, where she slammed the president's decision to pull out of the Paris Agreement. Because we all know 20-something-year-old girls certainly know more about, the science of climate and all these other things than any guy would. It was mind-boggling. 195 countries signed the Paris Agreement, in which each country set non-binding goals to reduce man-made climate change. The U.S. is withdrawing from the agreement, citing negligible environmental effects and negative economic impact. Good decision, bad decision. Which is it and why? I do believe it's a bad decision. Her name is Mund. I don't know her first name. Something Mund. Kara Mund. And Maria Menounos was the judge who asked her. And she says, once we reject that, we take ourselves out of the negotiation table. And that's something that we really need to keep in mind. There's evidence that climate change is existing. So whether you believe it or not, we need to be at that table. And I think it's just a bad decision on behalf of the United States. It's some bad English you've been using there, girl. I ain't going to correct it, but some bad talk. And, I know these girls are under the gun and they're young. They don't necessarily know how to think on their feet. But come on. How about, I realize that those are the types of questions they love to ask Miss Americas. But you know what? We have people who have been put in charge of the country, duly elected. And whether we agree or we disagree, we do need to at least back the people that we put into leadership. And I would not want to disrespect the people who voted for President Trump by giving my opinion on something like this. Something like that. And again, I get it. I get the issue. That's not the answer to the question. But what's so cold to me is she answers the question, and another girl who I think disagreed. This is what one of my researchers was telling me. So I'm going from just hearsay. I mean, a conversation I had with Miranda. But she says the girl who answered the question pro-Trump loses. The girl who answers the question anti-Trump, she wins. Now, I didn't watch the pageant. I doubt many of you did either. But it bugs me that we give these, it's a Miss America contest, and we can't even back our president in a Miss America contest. That should have disqualified the chick. This is Kevin Jackson's opinion. Yeah, I would have said the trick to the answer would be, if you don't back the president's play, how can we make you Miss America, fool? But they give it to her. That's what's so shocking. Mund, 23-year-old girl, Brown University graduate with dreams to be the first woman governor of North Dakota. God forbid. First Miss America winner from the state in the pageant's history. Washington Post says she'll get a 6-figure salary for the next year, and then she goes to Notre Dame for law school, where she can apply her $50,000 scholarship winnings from the pageant. Congratulations to her. Build your career over nonsense of climate change, because you know why? She knew the lefty answer. She knew what they wanted to hear. The judge asked a question, and I'm sure these people know who the judge is. I don't know who this judge is. I don't know who Maria Menounos is, but I can almost guarantee you she's a lefty. Anyway, we got a lot more to talk about. Keep it here.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.